Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the National Guard products number 954. This is just a 6-inch sample piece of this item. This is a ramp component is what it is. The 954 allows us to transition from a half-inch installation here with the leading R50 portion that goes from 0 to half, and then from half to 1 inch, and does so making it 12-inch, which is a code-compliant relationship of rise over run of 1-inch rise, not less than 12 inches of run is what the 954 is used for. It's a component used in that regard. Now there is a link below this video to the product brochure, which is really handy because it will allow us to review on one of the pages all of the component parts. The 954 is certainly part and parcel of the overall system. As you study those components, and there's only 10 of them, you can use all of those components in concert to go from 6-inch out to 36-inch. You can get to 30-inch as a ramp at 2.5-inch tall. 2.5, 30 is the 1 to 12 relationship. The last 6-inch piece will allow you to get out to 36-inch, but transition over something over on top of the surface. The product brochure also shows us what the ramps look like when they're in an assembled condition. So if you were to want 0 to 1 inch, that you'd use the R50 and then the 954, right? Yeah, 954. You could order that as the R100, and that's listed there. You could also order the subcomponents. It comes back the same way. There's no difference. The material's sold based on being aluminum and then the per foot. That drawing showing the R100 does show you how they nest together. And this is 6-inch wide. And while that doesn't measure 6-inch, it does where the pieces nest together. Okay, as you can somewhat see that, I suppose. Okay, about 6-inch wide. Not about, it is 6-inch wide. Now this is the mill aluminum finish. This is what the aluminum looks like when it comes from the mill. You can also order this in the DKB finish, which would be a dark bronze anodized finish. National Guard dark bronze is known to be darker. I've had people call me and say, hey, you sent me black. I says, I couldn't have sent you black because they don't make it in black, but acknowledged it's very dark. So be mindful of that. It would be darker. And that is indeed what some people want because they have an aluminum storefront that is very dark. So the National Guard material very often complies very well with a finish match on some aluminum storefront material. You can also then do it in a third option, the SIA, which stands for Slick It Ain't. Literally, Slick It Ain't. That is a heavy abrasive process that's done over the material. And while this material is certainly not conducive to slipping, the foot can slip on aluminum. And it's happened to me. And I don't think that you're going to have a slipping problem on this material. I don't at all. However, I can imagine that if you had a wider threshold, let's say you're literally at 24, 30 inch, and you get most of that wheelchair on there, the Slick It Ain't heavy, coarse texture application that's done will certainly work to all but eliminate the possibility of slippage. And that's really, I think, where you'd see a Slick It Ain't application best. Now, what you're going to want to review as well, sorry, is the closed end ramps, and I'm pulling up the catalog. Okay, I've got it now. So the closed end ramps that you see in that product brochure Sorry, I had to get logged back in. If you were to study the end of this ramp, you're going to have a lot of void space underneath that may not be conducive to what you're doing. Well, the factory will make return closed ramps, return closed ends for the ramps. The upside of it is when you look at those those pieces, you see that you'll get a very clean, professional end result. The downside is aluminum is really costly, but what drives the cost, and that's the downside, they're incredibly expensive, is the labor. So they really work to drive the cost of the installation up. However, you're ordering it because you might be mandated by your specification to supply it, or you may not need it at all. You know, you might be pouring concrete to fill the area outside of where the ramp will be placed, and therefore you simply don't need it. I've had one client who said, yeah, boy, those closed ends are really expensive. Yeah, they are really expensive. You know, I'm going to make my own. Okay. Got it. I don't know what was done in that case. I can't fathom that aluminum was purchased and cut in odd angles and then TIG welded in place. I can't fathom that that's what was done. I would also consider not making your own, only because having a complete system from the factory certainly bolsters the concept of having a complete unified installation, one that is compliant with the manufacturer's warranty. You might want to consider ordering the entire assembly should your application actually call for it, regardless of the cost, I suppose. Listed in the site in lots of different lengths, everything from 2 foot to 8 foot. If you have need for a custom length, by all means let us know by ordering the next longest piece or pieces, and simply indicate in the comment field what length you'd like for us to cut the material back to. That's because it will give you a really clean cut. And because you're going to be cutting pieces that need to get stacked together, and you're not going to cut them all at once, most likely, it would be nice to have the factory give you that nice clean factory edge, as you can see just on this little 6-inch sample piece. So you, by all means, order the next longest piece or pieces, indicate in the comment field the net length you want us to send the material out at, and we'll be happy to do so. Finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the National Guard products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. If you have any questions on the National Guard part number 954, ramp component, or any other National Guard product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.